Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. Today we are doing another reading vlog and I'm actually so excited for this reading vlog. One, because I haven't filmed one in forever. I don't think I've filmed one since probably December, I want to say. So it's about time. But also because this is kind of a different sort of reading vlog. In this one, I'm going to try and just read books that are outside of my comfort zone. So my goal is to read books that are from genres that I don't normally read from, or at least I haven't in like the last few years. That is kind of my goal for today. Mostly because I'm getting really bored of the books I read. I either read from the fantasy genre or the romance genre, and lately it's just not been giving what I want it to give, and it's kind of putting me in a book slump a little bit. So I thought I would branch out a little bit, and I actually went to the bookstore, was that last weekend? I think it was last weekend, and I picked up two new books that are very much outside of my comfort zone, and that's what we're gonna read today. So the first book I bought was Crying in Mart by Michelle Sooner. I'm not sure how to say that, but this is actually a memoir. So this is a coming of age memoir about a Korean woman. Yeah, you're kind of getting like a past present timeline of her growing up as a kid and some of the experiences she's had, and then also grieving her mother because her mother just passed away and getting through something like that while also dealing with grief. And honestly, she talks about so much in this book so far, and I'm only on chapter 4, so take that as you will. So this is definitely the book we're going to start off with in this vlog. Okay guys, I have been so insanely busy. I have not been able to do many updates on my reading, mostly just because I haven't done much reading, period. This is how far into the book I am so far. I'm on page 75, and honestly, I kind of just picked this up randomly throughout the day whenever I have a minute, and I just read like a chapter here and there. So far, I'm really enjoying it. It is a very, I don't even know how to describe this book or my thoughts. Why is it so hard to talk about like memoirs? It's like, I don't know how to gauge my thoughts because it's like not just a made up story anymore. It's someone's life and it's something that someone went through, and reading some of the things she experienced as a child and like her relationship with her mom, it's like so complicated and kind of fascinating to read about, but also kind of depressing. Like, it's safe to say Michelle definitely went through a lot of hardships, went through a lot of challenges with her mom, and she is processing so much in this book that is very interesting to read, and it's really fascinating to go through all of her stages of her life and how her relationship developed and changed with her mom and her parents to where she is by the end of the book, because it is a little bit of flip-flopping between when she was a child growing up to where she is today, and like going through the loss of her mom. It's just a lot to process, to be honest. I think it's just the best way I can describe it. I'm really enjoying it, and it's the kind of writing that just sucks you in, and every time I'm reading it, I don't want to put it down, so it definitely keeps you hooked. I'm gonna do a little bit more reading today. I have some more time. I actually just came home for the weekend, so I'm hoping to read for like a few hours today and maybe get this finished up by the end of the weekend. It's a pretty short read, like it's 240 pages. So I feel like I can get through it pretty quick. I just have to actually set time aside for it. That's my thoughts so far. Like I said though, I'm only 75 pages in, so I definitely have some more to unfold and lots more to unpack in this book. Don't mind my dirty sweater. My dog decided to climb on top of me as she was muddy. Can you guys tell I've been crying? Okay, I finished Crying in Mart this morning. I had like 40 pages left, I think, this morning. There wasn't much. Oh my gosh, I think I like memoirs. or at least I really loved this one. I had no idea who Michelle Zuner was before this. Ew, I'm gonna start crying again. I'm just searching up like her life now. Ew, it's gonna make me cry. This book was so good. If you take any recommendation from me, please go read this book. It is so far outside of my comfort zone that I didn't know if I would like it. I mean, the whole point of this video is to find books that I enjoy in different kinds of genres and whatnot, but I genuinely have fallen so in love with this book that I now want to go listen to all of Michelle's music and buy her records, and it was so good. I think I need to now go down like a rabbit hole and see what her life is like now and everything. It's such a raw and real story about hardships and growing up and overcoming grief and just so much in this book. It was so good. Every time I go to read it, I couldn't put it down. I just wanted to keep reading it all day. And I think that really tells you how good it is. This book has made me inspired to read some different kinds of books and different kinds of genres. I don't have words to describe this. I don't think I'm gonna rate the book. I think you know what I would rate it if I did, but it just feels so wrong to rate somebody's life story. Objectively, this was amazingly written. It was beautiful and just very well articulated, but I just feel really wrong putting a rating on someone's story and someone's experiences and the value of entertainment it provides. It just doesn't feel right, but it was really good, and I seriously recommend checking this book out. It has been a hot minute since I have last updated this reading vlog, simply because I have been so busy this week. I've not really had time to read a lot physically. It's time to read my second book of this reading vlog, and that is A Man Called Ove by Frederick Bachman. I've heard so many good reviews about this book, and I recently just actually picked it up whenever I picked up the last book, Reading and Crying in H. Mart. I don't even know really what this book is about, but it's part of just the general fiction genre. So far, I'm only on page 13, chapter 3. And it just kind of feels like we're following this like really grumpy older man. That's really all I've gathered so far. I have made some more progress on A Man Called Ove. I don't know if it's Ove or Ove. It might be Ove, to be honest. I'm really not sure, but I am now in chapter 12, which is page 96. Honestly, I was really close to DNFing this book, which means did not finish. But yeah, I was like, I'll read 2 more chapters, and if I'm still not into it, I'll DNF it temporarily and come back maybe like in a month or so. I read those 2 more chapters and I really got into it. I just found it kind of slow at the beginning because for the first few chapters, you're literally just following this old man who is kind of grumpy and kind of hates the world, and you're just hearing him go through his like very normal day-to-day things. It just wasn't what I was in the mood for right now. There are times where I'm very much in the mood for just a slice of life kind of book, but I could tell that they were building to something and they were trying to wait to put more emphasis on something, but I just was like, I don't know if I care enough to keep reading it to get to that point. But I pushed through and I got to that point, and now I'm more into it. Does that make any sense? I'm really not sure, but that's my thoughts so far. I have officially finished reading A Man Called Ove. This was so good. I wasn't expecting to love it in the way that I did. I think earlier in the vlog I had mentioned when I first was starting to get into this, I found it really slow, and I just kind of didn't really care too much about the characters yet. But honestly, after like the halfway mark, I really fell in love with this book. Every time I picked it up, it felt so comforting to read. I don't know how to explain it except for the fact that it was just so comforting. But yeah, I loved all of the bonding that happened in this story with Ove and all of his neighbors, and how they all came together in a way to give him a sense of purpose when that's what he really needed in his life. It was just so beautiful, and some of the things that Ove thought or said in the book was just so poetic. I ended up getting quite teary-eyed by the end of it. It was just so good. I definitely took my time reading this. It wasn't a super fast-paced sort of book. So I'm definitely probably going to check out more Frederick Bachman's books. I actually have Beartown on hold right now at my library, so I think that's the next book I might read. So I feel like this challenge did really well. I feel like I was able to step out of my normal genre, and I've learned that I really enjoy some other genres. Anyways, I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and I'll see you all in my next one. Goodbye!